We are going to take you to our garden and talk all about our figs. Let's go. Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is our front yard. This is filled with all of our fruit trees right now, and we are going to take you on a tour just to show you and talk to you about all of our figs. Hi babe.
Hi there.
What you doing?
Eating an apple. Quite delicious.
And a fig.
And one of our figs.
Speaking of figs, how many figs we got this year?
Well, actually, fruit. We got a ton of fruit this year. But and we got 10 figs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over here, and then 2 down the way. Tomorrow we'll be cloning all the figs, meaning that we're going to take a cutting off the fig tree to prune it, to shape it how we want it to grow. Because as you can see, it's growing kind of ruly. Last year I couldn't really tend to them, so they got out of control. But it's okay, because we got a lot of fruit off of them. And this year we'll be able to get a lot of clones off of them. So we'll take a cutting off the fig tree and then dip it in a rooting hormone. And from the top up here, a new fig will start growing. We have slated for roughly about 40 new fig trees. This one will get a few fig cuttings off of, because we didn't get any fruit off of this one this year. We had a water issue where the water got stopped, and a lot of the figs on this tree died, so we didn't get to taste it. So I don't know what it's gonna taste like, so I don't know if I want to make a bunch of clones off of it. But this guy right here, we're gonna get some nice clones off of it. And this is a black mission. This is one of my favorite figs, and so as you can see, this grew quite a bit. So we'll get probably about, I don't know, four clones off of this guy. And then this guy over here, this one had a ton of fruit. I mean, this is where we got pretty much all of our fruit off of. As you can see, it's still got some fruit ripening off of it. This is one that I got off of it this morning. This one will get quite a few cuttings off of also. I plan on keeping 3 branches, so I'll probably keep this one, this guy right here, and this other big guy right here, and the rest we're all gonna clone. This one will clone the most because it gave the most fruit and it tastes the best. I don't know the name of it. The tag got lost, so yeah, we just call it the good tasting fruit tree. It tastes very very sweet, it's not very fruity. We have one up front that's like, tastes like very berry-y. This is definitely one of our favorites. The fruit was very sweet. You come over here and see, it's still fruiting. So fig trees, the figs grow off of the new growth. So if you look down in here, these little bulbs, if there was more time, they would turn into fruit. This will kind of be a what's called a mother plant. So essentially, the new cuttings I'll grow more traditionally, straight up and kind of into a tree like, not too high, but just enough to where we can still reach, because figs, they grow, like I said, they grow off the new growth. So if you have a tree that's super tall, all the new growth is naturally up top. It lessens your chance to get the figs, because figs can grow pretty tall. Yeah, so we'll keep this one kind of short, more bushy. It'll get big eventually, but that's the logic behind the 3 branches. Yeah, and then the rest we'll just cut off and make clones off of. And then we have some ones over here. This one tastes really good, but the fruit didn't ripen very well. It's only 2 years old. I got a clone last year. Yeah, I got a clone last year, and it grew. I don't know if anybody that follows remembers from, they were over in front of the greenhouse under that pine tree. These also grew kind of, like I said, I wasn't able to tend to them the way I would have liked them last year, but they all grew pretty ruly. They were so clumped together, there wasn't a lot of light, so it grew like a lot of branches, which, you know, for us it doesn't matter. It's actually kind of a blessing, because now when I go to clone it this year, and considering that these first 10 trees are going to be, you know, our mother plants, can get lots of clones from them to establish all over the property. These ones, we only got, I think it was like 1 fruit off of this one, but as you can see, they just didn't ripen. I'm thinking just because it's its first year fruiting, it just didn't do well. We have a couple fruit over here. It didn't ripen. It could also be because it's been underneath this pine tree and this elm tree right here, that it didn't get as much light as it needed. So next year I'm gonna move all of these trees over here from out of this area, and we'll put other trees that don't require as much light or need some deprecated light, because we do get like heavy, I mean, it's full sun out here. And a lot of times when in gardening they say full sun, they don't mean like direct, like literally full sun all day. Yeah, so some trees, like our apple trees, they didn't do too well, and the apple trees normally don't do very well, and so I'll probably move the apple tree underneath here. I put some of these under here because last year I noticed when a couple of the figs were out in direct sun all day, they didn't do well, and so could have been because they were young still. Because these other ones, they got shaded early. All of them have shade at some point of the day, or deprecated light, just because of these pine trees, the elm tree. Whereas last year, it was just out in full direct sun all day and they didn't do well. So this year they did a lot better. I just think it was too much shade over here. Like this one didn't fruit at all. Got a bunch of leaf growth, which is cool, but we'll get a couple figs off of this one, and then next year I'll probably let it grow, see how the figs taste, and if they're good, we'll incorporate them in. This one right here is a brown turkey fig. And we got a huge, this one grew a huge fig. And this one's growing like really weird. And that's because it was hidden underneath, like, yeah, this one was kind of small and it was shaded out by all the other trees, so it grew outwards, trying to get as much light as it could. But it's okay, we're gonna pull this one up like this to get that branch to grow straight, and then probably pull another one of these up like this, potentially this one over here, and then just cut the rest for clones, because the fig was, yeah, the brown turkey, it was very good. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, they're big. It got pretty big, which was nice. And then this is another black mission that we'll get a couple of clones off of. Probably like 1, 2, or like 3 off of this guy. This one's already growing pretty well. And this only had 1 fruit on it this year, so next year expecting to have quite a bit of fruit off of this guy. Yeah, this is another black mission. I really enjoy these figs. This one right here is one that got really hurt by not having the water on. But as you can see, it sprung back very well. Like lots of new growth. Still all this dead debris on it. We didn't get to taste the fruit on this one, so I don't know how it's gonna taste. This is I believe this is our kodu. It's kodu or kadota.
Kadota.
It is kadota, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this is the kadota fig. We got a little bit of fruit off of it last year, and it wasn't good. I won't say it wasn't good, I just didn't like it. I think my Emmanuel liked it, but my oldest son, yeah, this is definitely the kadota. This branch, I know the way that this branch is. This is definitely the kadota. Well, probably won't really get any cuttings off of this one. Give it another chance next year. There was a ton of fruit on it though. I mean, there was a ton of fruit. Yeah, we'll see how it tastes and how it is next year. So depending on how it tastes, we'll get a bunch of clones off of it for next year. And this fig tree right here, this is I don't remember the tag fell off of this one also. Don't remember the name of it, but this one, it tastes extremely good. It's like, this is that one that's extremely berry. So there's a praying mantis in here. Yeah. So this one, it tastes very good, but unfortunately, it gets this, and I don't know what this is, if like anybody watching knows what this is. It gets this, I don't know, it's almost like leaf burn, but the leaves don't do well. And so some of my other figs had it, and then after we got hit with our water going out, all the leaves died, and then everything that came back, it was fine afterwards. So I don't know if this was just something that happened this year, because it's the first year that we've seen it. A friend of mine, he had it on his figs also, and we were kind of alluding to it was some type of fungus that was just going through the air this year, because it was the first time that he had seen it also. So hopefully it does better next year, because you know, it tastes great, it's a wonderful fig, but if it's gonna be producing like diseased leaves all the time or has some type of rot that's going on with it. It wouldn't be a good tree to keep around, which would be unfortunate because this thing tastes like, this is amazing. It's probably like the best tasting fig that I've ever had. It tastes like you're eating like Starburst, just imagine like really fruity berry taste. That's how this fig tastes. And yeah, we'll get a bunch of clones off of this guy in hopes that it does better. Yeah, it could have been something that I was doing also, because I'm always messing around with fertilizers and trying different stuff. And yeah, I think it also happened around some time that I put some CalMag inside it, which is calcium and magnesium. It could have been that, but the fact that my friend said he was having the same issue, that kind of let me know, like, okay, that's possibly not it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just all over it. And it looks like leaf burn, kind of. The way the leaves are like crinkling. Yeah, it could have been overwatering also. We did get a lot of water this year, and I was watering it twice a day for 15 minutes. That could have been it. I've cut the watering back quite a bit because figs don't need a lot of water, but some of them do. I have a couple over there that are like more water hungry. Whereas like this one, and there was a few others when the water went out, they didn't have water for about a week, maybe even a little bit longer, and they were fine. Leaves didn't die, like nothing. Everything was perfectly fine. Basically, I just need to find the balance. I think I got it. Really, I just do it once a day now in the summertime. Winter's coming around. I only water them like maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, just because we're so dry out here. And they'll be in the greenhouse one more year before they go into the ground next year. Trying to get the stock as the main stalks that I want as thick and strong and hardy as possible, because we get pretty cold, pretty hard freezes out here. Like last year didn't we get down into the teens?
Probably.
Yeah, I think we got down into the teens last year. So it gets pretty cold out here in the desert. They'll die back, which is fine, but the problem is they die all the way back. And then you're pretty much starting off from the base of the trunk. And so I don't want to keep starting from the base of the trunk, because then you always end up with these little itty bitty tiny figs. So I will like, a few nice, a decent sized tree. And yeah, so I'm gonna baby them for a couple years and let the main branches get really, really hardy and nice and thick before we leave them out over the winter. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you everybody for watching this video. We hope that you loved this fig tour of our garden. We would love to know if you have any fig trees and love figs on your property. And if you are new here, please subscribe to us. We are trying to grow our channel, our very humble channel here. So we hope to see you on the next video. Take care.